All right. We have our next podcaster, Cynthia Maynor.
Hi, Dr. Fred.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
All right, there we go. There you are. So I am going to introduce you all to Cynthia Maynor. Cynthia and I know each other for a few years. When I was hanging out in Los Angeles, Cynthia was also hanging out there. We met each other a few times, and I think there was an immediate bond of at least curiosity and interest in what each other was up to. Cynthia's look who we're looking at here. I mean, how could you not be interested with what this woman is up to? This just looking at her, for me, it's like brings forth who is this woman and what is she up to? So when the course got developed, it was really in the inner circle of people who were asked to join. Cynthia was one of the first few once we realized that we were actually going to be teaching this to more than one person. And we've had open discussions since the very beginning about the growth and development of this course, about what the intention was, about what worked or what wasn't working, what kind of things needed to be developed or could be developed to make the course as rich as it obviously has eventually become. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you all, really, if you don't know her already, to my good friend and another mentor for me, Cynthia Maynor. Cynthia, welcome to the True Voice Podcast Summit today.
Thank you, Dr. Fred. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having this summit. I'm having a wonderful time. I'm really connecting with people as they speak. I just had this great connection with Dr. Lynn Hellerstein, who wasn't live on camera, but there's just it's all about that, just connecting and sharing and learning people.
It is, right? It's and that is one of your specialties. Cynthia, tell us a little bit about who you were. When we ran into each other before the course started, tell us a little bit about what makes Cynthia tick. What's going on for you?
Well, a big part of it is 40 years of studying metaphysics and metaphysical practices, combined with almost 30 years of transformational studies. And they just really dovetailed so beautifully together. So I did the Landmark Forum 30 years ago. I became a staff member. I was a staff member for 12 years. And so communication, is just huge. It's like the number one thing for me in life, just being able to communicate. And I totally got that. And, what's really important is we study and we learn and we get information, but to use it, to actually practice it. And that is what I want to provide for people, the opportunity to practice all these wonderful things that we're learning and taking on and receiving. I want us to be able to practice that so that our life actually reflects all the wonderful things that we're learning and practicing.
Awesome. So like really this boots on the ground, practicing communication, sort of like what I was just speaking to, not just like thinking about it or not just like hoping for it, but really making it happen in the world of communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can really get caught up in studying and learning and getting information, but it's really like being out there in the world, not over here, but out there, making that difference.
Awesome. Cynthia, I understand that you have a clip. Is this a good time to show it, or are we ready for showing this?
Yeah. Let's do it. It's just a little less than 7 minutes, and let's do the whole thing. Yeah.
All right. Let's rock and roll. Let's go with queuing up that clip, Katie.
Thank you, Katie. Remember the inspirational song, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine"? I loved that song as a child, and I still love it. It reminds us that we are light and joyfully directs us to let our light shine. Greetings, beloveds. Welcome to my podcast, Reflecting Light for All. I'm your host, Cynthia the Moon Goddess. Thank you for showing up today. This podcast is about exploring, discovering, and inquiring together into how do I let my light shine? Through the conversations, intriguing interviews, and mind-blowing, heart-opening workshops, We are tapping into our authentic selves and dissolving the barriers to enlightenment, the barriers to you shining your unique, one-of-a-kind, you are the one we are waiting for, light. You are here to light up the world. Let your light shine. Now, over the next several weeks, we'll be exploring the world of sacred numerology in service of letting our light shine. Numbers represent universal principles through which all things evolve and continue to grow in a cyclic mode. The digits 1 through 9 symbolize the stages through which an idea must pass before it becomes a reality. All manifestation is the result of these 9 stages. The study and practice of sacred numerology is the art and science of understanding the spiritual significance and orderly progression of all manifestation. Every word or name vibrates to a number, and every number has its inner meaning. The letter and number codes bring us into direct and close relationship, actually connects us with the underlying intelligence of the universe. Numerology gives you a new vantage point from which to look at yourself and relate to yourself. Having an authentic look at our strengths and weaknesses will make a difference in every area of life. And then having guidance on cultivating our strengths and dealing powerfully with our weaknesses is expressed through the numbers and their meanings if we care to take advantage of that. I use numerology as a practical method of gaining insight into our deeper nature, our talents, our life goals, our hidden characteristics, our opportunities and challenges. Numerology offers revelation into the opportunities that will come to us during our lifetime, and it describes the cycles we experience during the course of our lives, as well as the lessons that we came here to learn and share with others. Your life exists as a potential, as an opening that has been prepared for. You and I have ultimate freedom to be and to do with our lives whatever we want, whatever we like. You can fulfill the potential completely or any version up to that. You make the decision to fulfill to whatever extent you choose the potential life that exists within you. By taking ownership of and using the divine gifts in your birth code, you give yourself the opportunity to make conscious choices that send your vibration soaring. First, to know the code, to be aware that there is one, then taking actions that correspond to your code, and then experiencing the breakthroughs that happen as a result of your clear intentions that align with your birth code. If a deeper exploration into who you are calls to you, join us on February 26th for the workshop, Living by the Numbers. Now, in this workshop, we'll begin to explore our numerology profile by delving into the life path. The life path is the most significant number in the numerology profile, and it is derived from your birth date. Your birthday signified a moment of total transformation. In that moment, you activated an awe-inspiring birth code. You stepped into a doorway in time, into a new reality. The whole of the magnificent possibility that you are was implicit in the moment of your birth. Think of this birth code as a blueprint to your soul. Think of it as a diagram of your soul contract for this lifetime. Working with the life path, we'll begin to make discoveries, create new possibilities, set intentions, dream our futures, share our wisdom, our spiritual practices, knowledge, support, and love. The life path addresses questions like, what is the main reason I'm here? What are the main lessons that I've come to learn? And what qualities could I focus on that will help me manifest my life purpose. So if you're interested in finding out more about the workshop Living by the Numbers, if you have questions, please give me a call. You can leave me a message at 216 810 6931. I'm looking forward to our partnership, to the communities we're growing, to the discoveries we'll make. Again, the number is 216 810 6931. This is Cynthia, the Moon Goddess, reflecting light for all. You are the light of the world, so let your light shine. Thank you for your listening.
Beautiful. It's just beautiful, Cynthia. Thank you.
I'm just so moved. Thank you.
Say more about your being moved. Let's hear where you are with the whole thing.
Well, you called me in October, and I had been thinking about wanting to do something, wanting to express my voice, wanting to share what I have to share. But what I knew about was not the way that I wanted to go. And I was afraid that I had to filter my voice. So I wasn't, I was connected to my true voice, but that was not what I could share. I would have to filter it. I would have to fix it, so that people would not react in a certain way. Not that they wouldn't get upset, but just, I just did not want any flack. I didn't want to deal with that. And that's all I saw was people saying whatever they had to say, and then other people, So I said, I don't know what I'll do. I'll just kind of wait and see. And then Dr. Fred called, and literally it was about a minute. It was a weird conversation. You said to me, there's going to be some synchronicity in this conversation. I'm like, what is he talking about? We haven't even talked. We haven't talked since I left staff. And then you started to create this platform where I could speak my true voice and be heard in such a way that there didn't have to be any fear, that I could just freely express. And literally in about a minute, 90 seconds, I'm like, I'm in. I got to go. I was in a course, but I'm in. So that was the beginning. And even though I thought I knew what I wanted to say, I thought I knew exactly where I was going. This course provided everything. I started out in a place and it just kept evolving and expanding. And wow, I don't like that. I like this better. And it just, as I attended the classes on Monday, I was just able to connect with my true voice, my true heart, and how I wanted to express it.
Amazing. And did you see this numbers thing? This isn't necessarily the essence of who you are. This was just a piece of who you are. Or let us know, how did this become the podcast that you created, designed, and then showed us today?
Yeah, that's great. Because there's so many things. I started studying and practicing numerology, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago, just for myself. And I loved it. And then I shared it with someone and they said, oh my God, this is wonderful. And then I saw the difference that I could make for others. And so I began doing that. So it is truly just one aspect of who I am and what I love. And years ago, not that long ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I had this audience with someone called John of God. And he's very intuitive. And so when it was my turn, I got to go up to the front and be with him one-on-one. And I said, I have all these things that I want to do, and I don't know what to do. And he looked at me and he laughed. He went, pick one. That's it. Just pick one. And I thought, well, that's pretty simple. And, and so I thought about that. And I went, Cynthia, just pick one. Just pick one, because reflecting light for all really is about including everyone and providing information and sharing and spiritual practices that can forward people's life. So I picked one. And actually, my first podcast was with a young mother, a wonderful young mother, about working with her 6-year-old and teaching him spiritual practices, decision making. She taught him tapping so that when he gets into test taking, he knows how to calm himself. And that was the first podcast. And I intend to complete that. But Fred, then what I saw is that workshops are really what I love to do. So I saw that it would be really great to combine the podcast with the workshop. And then I just had this idea that we could come together and start looking at our life path and taking on where we are with it, and if there's anything we want to do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I chose numerology.
And I noticed while it was on screen that you have a workshop that is that next Saturday. Is it for real?
Is.
What's happening? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, inside our course, December 30th, I decided, let me bring my communities together. I have a lot of different communities and I want to bring them together and so they can share with each other. So on December 30th, at the last minute, I invited 15 people to come and acknowledge and complete 2021 and create and welcome 2022. And 11 of those people showed up and we had a great time. We had a good time. And my friend said to me after, Cynthia, this is what you love. This is, what you should do. And I said, okay. So I saw that and I thought, doing the workshops with podcast in between is really going to make a difference. And so then I decided, well, I love numerology. It's the beginning of the year. I can really give people insight into a deeper access to themselves and just let them look at it, figure it out, look at it like, oh my God, that looks nothing like me, or that's very familiar. It's all included. And people really do get to connect to themselves in a deeper way, in a more profound way, and in a way where they can actually see things to do that will forward who they are and what they're here for.
That's fabulous. And what are some of the other future things, I guess beyond next week, creating a community, or this is like melding the communities? Is there more expansive ideas of what Reflecting Light for All might bring forth?
Well, yeah, numerology is something we could just practice forever. I'm definitely going to go back to the young mothers. I'm a mother. Obviously, I'm not a young mother, but I have so many young mothers around me. And so, I think, Fred, what it looks like, what Reflecting Light for All looks like, is just looking at my communities, continuing to engage with people and expanding my communities so that I'm really on the pulse of what people want, what they need, what they're thinking about, and I'm able to just provide conversations for them for whatever it is. And that's why it's for all, because it's, it's the spiritual, it's the material, it's the world. I created myself years ago that I am a citizen of the universe. And I have a commitment to be true to my spirit and to make a real difference in the world. And this is giving me an opportunity to fulfill that.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Cynthia, it is always a pleasure. You're just, you're mesmerizing in your energy. It's so great that you're off to so many different things and you're able to communicate effectively and then bring forth people together. Katie was just singing your praises of the December 30th event. I know that you and her have grown together as quite famous friends. And it's really, it's just a deep privilege to have walked with you over the last 4 months, and of course the red carpet invitation to continue being with the True Voice community as we move forward. Anything else you want to tell us in closing, anything you want to say to us?
Yeah, I am someone who my default is I'm strong, I'm fearless, I can do it on my own, Fred. I really don't need you. And I've tried that out many, many times and it doesn't work. So being in community and communication and partnership is everything. And what I want to say is, I want to thank you for your partnership. I want to thank you for your listening of me. I want to thank Sean and his team for showing me what I can do. I do intend to produce my own. So, Sean, thank you for everything that you and your team have provided. I want to especially thank Katie, who just is so approachable. I never hesitated for 1 minute to call Katie in the course about something that I wasn't sure about. And I want to thank every single one of the wonderful beings that are a part of TVP1. It's made a huge difference for me. And yes, this is my community, so I don't intend to go anywhere.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia Maynor. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming to the summit. What a great share.
Yeah.
Love you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Love you too.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Let's hear it for Cynthia Maynor.